So what's up, Fort Wayne? What's up, what's up? So it's hot, right? It's a hot day outside, but I'm here to tell you guys you're hanging out with the cool kids. Everything's gonna cool down, right? Everything's gonna be fine from here on out. So, my name is Iric Headley. I lead the Fort Wayne United Initiative for Mayor Tom Henry and the city of Fort Wayne. And I'd like to introduce you guys to a close friend of mine. His name is Joe Jordan, who is also the CEO and president of our Boys and Girls Club, but also the co-chair of our Fort Wayne United Initiative. And Joe stands here today to support me and to support this city as we talk about this amazing man. So give Joe a round of applause for him. So typically what happens in these scenarios is a person gets up and they read a lot of accolades and they read a lot of accomplishments and all the amazing things that a human being has done. Well, I'm not good at that stuff because I don't feel like it comes from the heart. So what I want to do is simply speak from my heart, because I believe that that is what I'm called to do, is to tell the truth. So I simply want to talk to you guys about this man that I've got to know a little bit better, right? So many years ago, Joe Jordan and I would not be standing there talking about Mayor Tom Henry. And several years ago, when the city of Fort Wayne asked me to lead this initiative that we know so well now, I was skeptical because I was not into local government, and I told myself I would never work for local government or work for a church. Right? I still don't work for a church, but we work for local government. And John Maxwell says that to believe in a mission, you have to believe in the leader who leads the mission. And that's what I've been able to do, is to start believing in and now believe fully in the person that leads this mission. The first thing that really bonded me to Mayor Tom Henry was all of the commonalities that we had, all of the things that we had in common. And one of those things that I'd like to talk about was the simplistic principle of making a community better. The simplistic principle of loving your family, which leads you to love the other families in which you lead for a city, right? The simplistic principle of character and integrity. We have those things in common. But one thing that takes us to a deeper level is when you really believe that the least of us can become the best of us. And Mayor Tom Henry believes in that. It's also when you can look at the poor and say, you are now rich because of the access that you have to so many things in our community. And as Mayor Tom Henry and I start to build a relationship, and I really start to learn more and more and more about his heart, I start to say, this is a man that I can believe in following as he leads the mission of helping our community become better for all. And that's something that we have to do as a city. But how do we do it if quite frankly, I have to be honest with you, we're gonna call this like it is. How do we do it when we've gained so much momentum and we've gotten to a point and then we change gears and we change guards and we change leadership? I'm not here to tell you guys that I believe in that, and I hope you don't either. The other thing that we want to talk about is what Mayor Henry has done for the city. So just with our initiative, our city has become a nationally known city to so many other communities. At least once a month I get a call from some other community where some city, some mayor's office is saying, how did you do what you guys are doing? And I always start off with one word: leadership. Leadership. Because of the leadership. Because of the leadership. Because Mayor Tom Henry has given us the freedom to do what we feel is best for our mission, which is young black men and boys. The other thing is that so many other communities in our country do not put forth the effort or the resources to say, this population matters, the disenfranchised matters, the individuals that feel like they're not connected, they matter. That's what our mayor has been able to do for our city and the population that Joe Jordan and I serve. And that means the world to us. So first of all, let's give Mayor Henry a round of applause so much. So, the last thing I'll say is I want to read you guys a quote. I want to read you guys a quote, a very simple quote by somebody that I admire. It's Martin Luther King. If you don't admire Martin Luther King, you need to get your temperature checked, right? Martin Luther King says, "Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be." This is the interrelated structure of reality. I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be. That's a quote from Martin Luther King, but it's something I saw modeled by our mayor. So with further ado, I want to introduce you to the man, the mission. Getting to know Mayor Tom Henry as Tom Henry has meant the world to so many of us that lead missions underneath his umbrella. And hopefully that will continue. Mayor Tom Henry.
Thank you very much. First of all, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't, first of all, because of my lovely wife. Sandy, how many come up here and join me, please? She doesn't want to stand up here any longer. But truly, she has been my rock throughout my entire political career. I first got involved in politics back in 1983, right after the Great Flood, and I never looked back. Once I began to get involved in public service, to me, there was no greater calling than to be of service to your fellow man. And I can't think of another profession that has so many rewards as a profession where you can actually be in a position to help people. There's no amount of money that can give you that kind of reward. So for all of you that have been involved in my campaigns over the years and have helped me through my political career, thank you from the bottom of my heart. This truly has been the best job in the entire world. Most of all, I want to thank all of you for being a part of the transformation of our city. Most of you remember that it wasn't that long ago that our city, to be kind, was a rather dormant community. We actually had a downtown with boarded up windows. We had neighborhoods with housing stock that was falling apart, literally. We had sidewalks and curbs and streets that were certainly uninviting to those who wanted to visit our community. And over the past 10 years, we have seen a transformation of our community that I've never seen before. And I've been in this community almost all my life. We truly have witnessed a change that most communities would envy. We have taken quantum leaps in the area of our downtown, of our neighborhoods, our business community, our social service agencies, our educational partners, our healthcare facilities, our hospitality offerings. I could go on and on. In almost every sector of our community, we have attempted to move us forward. I have the pleasure of getting around our state a lot and visiting other communities in other states. And I will tell you that in many, many communities, we are the envy of those cities. I've been asked many times, what is going on in Fort Wayne? As a matter of fact, the Attorney General of our state was here recently, and he asked me that. He said, I'm up here, Mayor, to do some business, but I also want to know what in the world is going on in Fort Wayne. You are reaching one headline after another, not only in your own community, but throughout the state. Your citizens believe in something, and it's quite evident that they're willing to commit to what they're talking about. You know, there's no question that cities are more than just bricks and mortar. It truly is the quality of life and the quality of place that you offer those who call your city home and those who visit your community. Anymore, it's not unusual for an employer to look at offerings above and beyond financial incentives. They want to know about the quality of life of the community. They want to know how we treat one another as individuals. They really want to know whether or not we care about one another. Because when I ask an employer to pick up his base and move it to Fort Wayne, I'm going to make sure that his employees are coming to a home. They're coming to a place that welcomes them as part of a community. That's really where it's at. And if I've tried anything over the past 11 years as your mayor, is to try to be a mayor of the people. The citizens of this community mean more to me than anything. Because without you believing in our mission, without you believing in where we want to take our city, we have no city. That's the reason that I'm standing before you again today, because I truly believe that we've only just begun. We have so much potential in this community, so much that we can offer those who are looking to Fort Wayne to possibly call home. During my first campaign, I talked to you a little bit about a friend of mine who I served with in the United States Army a number of years ago. And he happened to have been a graduate of West Point. And West Point has a maxim. It's only 4 lines. It's 4 lines that mean a lot to me, that I've tried to follow throughout my political career. And I asked you, when I first ran, to possibly use it as your foundation to move our city forward as well. And I'd like to repeat those 4 lines today because, once again, I'm going to ask our community to step up and follow this maxim as well. First, I'm going to ask you to care for one another more than many think is wise. I'm going to ask you to risk more than others think is safe. Let's expect more from each other than others think is possible. And let's dream more than others think is practical. My friends, if we can use that as the foundation for the city of Fort Wayne as we enter into the next decade, I assure you that we will go no place but up. That we will truly become the kind of city that we have the potential to be. You know, we've won a lot of awards the last 10 years. Many of you are responsible for the attainment of those degrees, if you will. We've become an all-American city. We're a most livable city. We're one of the best cities to retire. We're one of the best cities for a young person to start a business, for young people to live. I can go on and on. We have won more awards in the last 10 years than we've ever won in the entire history of our city. And many of you are responsible for that. As I look around this room, I truly see the leadership of this community. Many of you, through your time and your talent and your treasure, have brought us where we are. But as the group Fleetwood Mac once said, and I know some of you remember Fleetwood Mac. Some of our younger people are looking at me rather quizzically. But one of their songs, they say, don't quit thinking about tomorrow. Don't quit thinking because it's right around the bend. And that's what we need to continue to do. Don't stop, because it'll soon be here. And if we stop the progress that we've made, we will surely fall short. We have become a leader in the state, and a leader in the Midwest. There is no city our size that has done anywhere near what we've been able to accomplish over the past decade. It's because of that, because of the fact that you have given me the privilege and the honor of being your mayor for 3 terms, that I would now like to formally announce my candidacy for the Democratic primary in May of 2019 to seek the office of mayor of the city of Fort Wayne. So much, but it truly is only the beginning. I've had a chance to meet with my staff, and I have one of the greatest staffs a mayor could ever ask for. You know, I get a lot of credit from time to time for some of the things we've been able to accomplish in this community, but I look around and I see many of my working cabinet here, and they truly are the heroes behind the scenes. They and their staff. We have a little under 2,000 employees working in this city, and although from time to time we get some grief, and I will admit sometimes it's probably deserved, you're never going to find a greater set of people who believe in making Fort Wayne the best possible city it can be, that truly believe in helping you is where it's at. So, again, I want to thank you so much for coming today. It's been a real honor and privilege to be your mayor, and hopefully you'll allow me to continue in that position. God bless you all.
4 more years!
God bless you. I was remiss, we have cookies and water over here. If you have 10 dozen cookies, for God's sake, please take them. Thank you again.